Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And for this video, I'm going to share you my understanding of Camino. What is Camino? Because a lot of my friends ask me, they say, Sam, could you please do a video to present to people the introduction of Camino? Well, to be honest, I check a lot of different books and even online, different versions. Mostly are people's understanding of the Camino, but actually not mine. But I draw in conclusion to be an idea. So I want to use my way to introduce you what is Camino. So keep less is more and keep simple stupid. So I believe Camino actually begins in one conversation. But first, before I say that, I would like to say a story about myself. Even I walked the second time of my Camino, the Santiago French way. So when I was meeting some people from Spain, I told them proudly, I walked the Camino. Some of them will be shocked, Camino? I told them, then I need to tell them Camino de Santiago Compostela. Then seems everybody knows. But when I say Camino, some of them will be confused. Because for myself, I thought Camino is like a professional vocabulary. Until one time, I was delivering my document by the post from Spain to France. And when I checked the tracking on the website, it's written, your document is on Camino. I was like, excuse me? I want my document go to France, not go to the West, not Camino de Santiago de Compostela. Well, then I stopped myself because I see there's a simple, a camion, a truck. So which way is my document is on the way, not means go to the Santiago de Compostela. That moment I realized, Mamma mia, Camino means way. No wonder there's a movie, American movie, introduction of the Camino, the way. Camino is not professional vocabulary. It's in Spanish means way in English. So I was more confused because I know one thing. I know that I don't know. So different people walk Camino, they have different story. Even for myself, each Camino is a different story. So I was wondering then how can I introduce my friends about Camino? So I remember with my best friends, we grew up together. They went to my place with my grandma, listened to the fairy tale. So I got a new idea how to introduce the Camino. Even one day I can tell my young offsprings, even one day when I become a grandpa. So very simple, like a bedtime story, by one conversation. Once upon a time, a young man lived in a small European village, maybe like 20 person. So he's a very spiritual guy and faithfully to God. But every time he want to do something, people around him will tell him that's impossible. And he was very confused. Why it's impossible? Because this guy is very spiritual. So he's full of curiosity. Always discover from there, always discover from here. But he realized the places, the environment he traveled or visited or discovered is relatively, say, small. So he remembered the legend in the Bible, the legend from people spreading the words. St. James. Seems like a rumor begins in the 9th century. So he doesn't know it, but he's full of curiosity. So he get up his courage and follow the direction of sunset. The only thing he knows is that Santiago de Compostela is in the west. So he keep going, crossing the Pyrenees. People said impossible. So when he arrived, the other side of the Pyrenees, people asked him, "Where are you from?" "I come from the other side of the mountain." "Where are you heading for?" "Santiago de Compostela." That's how the conversation begins, the story of Camino. And then people will say, "I just heard a legend that Santiago de Compostela is in the west." Yes, that's what I'm exactly heading for. Follow the direction of sunset. So he keep walking, crossing another mountain. People call that's impossible by the locals. When he arrived the other side of the mountain, people ask the same question again. The more he approached to the approximate direction of the city, Santiago de Compostela, more and more people tell him, go this by a very traditional way, because during that time there's no cell phone, no GPS, maybe even not have map because limited knowledge. But people knows Santiago de Compostela is very near, so they tell him go this way. Using the old days life, travelers ask locals for information, and the people knows the knowledge. Seeing his sincerity and faith, told him. So he got away, keep going until he arrived at Santiago de Compostela. When he returned to his village, he went back to the bar and told people what he saw, what he experienced, and what he learned. So by what he learned on the way, he made those impossible in the village be possible. More and more, impossible in the past becomes impossible. So what he did for the village, more and more generation was inspired, and the word spreading to the village nearby, and more young people followed his legendary story toward the direction of sunset. Then, with 100 years later, when people arrived at Santiago de Compostela, they were wondering, what would be there toward more west? So the local in Santiago de Compostela will tell them, maybe you can go to Finisterre, you'll find the answer. So when they arrived at Finisterre, they realized, Mamma mia, this place may be the end of the land. So maybe this is the end of the world. That's why there's a saying, Finisterre is considered as the end of the old world during the Middle Age. So with more and more people by generation inspired by those legendary stories from village to village, Camino turned out to be today's way. And then in the last century, 1990s, UNESCO considered Camino de Santiago French Way and North Way as World Heritage, cultural world heritage, which will have a big positive impact for the offsprings from generation to the generation. So right now, here is the direction of the west, which means the direction of sunset. So this is whole Spain, and this is Santiago de Compostela. Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. From village to village to village to village till Santiago de Compostela. And then that's the French border too, Spain and France. And here's another city, village to village to village till Santiago de Compostela. So that's the northern way. And here, for example, there's a lot of way called Camino de Santiago. So for example, this part from Portugal. So this is also, that's the Camino de Portuguese, de Santiago, Portuguese. And also on the French side, they have some extension from different city to the departure, all toward the city, Santiago de Compostela. And the Finisterre, I call it Finisterre. That's why there's a stone with shell symbol, marked 0. What a beautiful story, right? So from now, there's thinking for me in project analysis. So each kind of way of Camino, I would call that's a solution to arrive Santiago de Compostela. And why Santiago de Compostela? To be honest, I still keep open mindset, which means not 100% believe, not 100% not believe, just middle. I don't know St. James is a real St. James or not, but by tradition, by legendary story, his tomb was in the cathedral of the Santiago de Compostela. So by history, more and more people walked the Camino toward Santiago de Compostela. That's how different Camino way bumps out. This is my version of presentation or introduction of Camino de Compostela. I would like to say all begins by the conversation. Young man, where are you from? Young man, where are you heading to? Santiago de Compostela. Thank you for your watching and buen camino.